$67 for that. What?
$32 cheeseburgers? Come on now.
$24 for 3 meatballs. $30 for pad thai. What do you think I made of money? This bar's dead. I asked that dude for 2 soda waters and he said it was gonna be $13.50 for 2 soda waters. What the hell, Vegas? There's nobody here.
Las Vegas used to be America's neon playground, cheap rooms, endless buffets, and a shot at fortune. But if you land in Vegas in 2025, you'll see something shocking. Empty casino floors, shuttered buffets, and locals quietly warning you to stay away. Why? Because Sin City has transformed into one giant tourist trap, and the magic that made it special has all but vanished. Today, we're counting down 9 brutal reasons why the Strip is emptier than ever, and why you'd be an absolute idiot to visit Las Vegas right now. Reason number 9. The Vegas deal is dead. Remember when you could snag a Strip hotel for under $100 a night, score a cheap buffet, and still have plenty left for gambling? That Vegas is gone. Here's what actually happens in 2025. You're scrolling through a booking site, you see $189 a night for a mid-tier Strip hotel. Looks like a deal, right? You click, book, and feel like you just beat the system. But when you check out, your bill looks like a car payment. Because here's the fine print nobody tells you until it's too late. Resort fees are now $40 to $60 per night at almost every property, no matter how basic. Parking fees, once free, now run $18 to $40 per day, even for self-parking. Early check-in fees can hit $50 to $75 just to get into your room before 3 p.m. And mandatory taxes and service charges tacked on at the end of your stay. So that $189 night actually costs closer to $320 or $350, and that's before you've had a single drink. I've heard stories from visitors who thought they were staying at a budget spot, only to get blindsided at checkout. One couple from Ohio said the total price on their hotel app was $720 for 3 nights. By the time they paid everything, it was $1,160. And it's not just hotels. The price creep is everywhere. Drinks are $18 to $25 for a vodka soda on the Strip. Water, $9 for a basic bottle. Coffee, $14 to $20 for a latte at hip hotel cafes. Even locals shake their heads now. Vegas was built on a simple math problem. Cheap rooms and cheap food brought you in. The casinos made their money on your gambling. That formula is dead. The Strip now treats every visitor like a high roller, without actually giving you high roller perks. The result? People are starting to notice. Occupancy is down compared to 2019, yet prices are up. It's the opposite of supply and demand. And tourists are calling it out on TikTok, Instagram, and travel forums. One viral post showed a receipt from a Strip hotel. $60 resort fee, $35 parking, $25 energy charge, and a $14 room delivery fee for a paper cup of coffee. Thousands of comments poured in. Vegas has become a scam. Never going back. Why pay this when I can go to Phoenix or Reno? When the Vegas deal dies, so does the illusion that the city is for everyone. Now, unless you're spending thousands, you're not welcome. And that, more than anything, is why the Strip looks emptier than it has in decades. Reason 8. Rigged games and worse odds. Las Vegas built its empire on the thrill of a fair gamble. You came for the show, but you stayed for the chance, even if slim, to beat the house. In 2025, that dream is almost gone. Here's the new reality. Table minimums have skyrocketed, odds have shifted, and even the basic feel of the casino floor has changed. A longtime dealer told me off camera, we were ordered to push 6-5 blackjack across the floor. 3-2 is now reserved for VIP rooms only. Regulars don't even recognize the games anymore. Back in the day, you could stroll into almost any strip casino, sit at a $5 or $10 blackjack table, and at least feel like you had a fighting chance. Today, that's a fantasy. $25 minimums are now low stakes. The good games, the ones with classic 3-2 payouts, are often tucked away in high-limit rooms with $100 or $200 minimum bets. Roulette has gotten even nastier. Remember when single zero wheels were the holy grail? They vanished years ago. Double zero became the norm. Now casinos are rolling out triple zero roulette, jacking the house edge to over 7%. That's almost double what it was a decade ago. Even craps and video poker aren't immune. Fewer odds bets allowed, more restrictive rules, and slot machines programmed with far tighter payout percentages. The vibe is no longer, come play, have fun. It's, how fast can we extract your money? And then there's the technology. The human dealer, once the face of Vegas hospitality, is being phased out for hybrid digital terminals. Instead of 4 dealers running 4 tables, one operator now manages 50 screens, each with automated shufflers and digital bet tracking. To management, it's efficient. Lower payroll, faster hands per hour, more profit per square foot. But to you, it's soulless. The dealer can't slow the game down for a beginner, can't read the table mood, can't banter. You're playing against an algorithm that never blinks and never makes mistakes. That subtle edge players once had, reading the dealers, spotting a mistake, taking their time, is gone. The pace is relentless. Hands fly by twice as fast. Losses pile up quicker. And players leave feeling not just broke, but robbed. The consequences are clear. Tourists no longer leave with wild stories of lucky streaks. They leave complaining they never even had a chance. One gambler wrote on a Vegas forum, "It's like feeding money into an ATM that doesn't spit anything back. Why bother?" Vegas casinos always had an edge, but when the house kills the illusion of fairness, it kills the city's soul. And when players stop believing they can win, they stop coming. That's why you're seeing empty tables even on a Saturday night. Reason 7, service has vanished. Vegas used to sell you an experience, not just a room. Even if you weren't a high roller, you felt like one. Bellhops whisking your bags away, cocktail servers bringing free drinks with a smile, concierge desks booking you last-minute show tickets. That was the unspoken contract. Vegas treated you like royalty, and in return you stayed, gambled, and spent more. In 2025, that illusion is shattered. Behind the glitz, service has quietly vanished. Hotels across the Strip have eliminated entire bell desks. Guests now drag their own luggage across cavernous lobbies, weaving past lines of people checking into kiosks instead of speaking to a human. Bellhops, doormen, concierge teams, once hallmarks of Strip hotels, are replaced with chatbots and apps. Even cocktail service, the lifeblood of casino floors, has been gutted. One fictional cocktail waitress confession says it all. "I used to handle 8 tables a night, smile, chat, and feel like I was part of the show. Now they've cut staff in half. I'm covering 20 tables, running on fumes, and the guests are angry. Tips are down, morale is gone, it's chaos." Housekeeping has been quietly restructured too. Where guests once got daily cleaning without question, now it's every 3rd day unless requested, and even then you can wait hours. Front desks, once brimming with eager staff, now resemble DMV counters with skeleton crews. And the kicker, none of this comes with a discount. In fact, prices are higher than ever. Guests paying $500 a night expect full service and luxury perks. Instead, they get self-checkout and QR codes. A growing number of reviews and TikToks slam Vegas hotels for charging Ritz-Carlton rates while delivering Motel 6 service. This hollowing out doesn't just hurt tourists, it's gutting the community. Service jobs were the backbone of Las Vegas. Layoffs, outsourcing, and automation leave thousands without work, which feeds into the city's broader economic pain. The result is a Strip that feels eerily transactional. Guests who once came home bragging about 5-star treatment now return home warning friends and family, "Don't expect service, just fees."
And when service dies, the magic dies. Vegas, without its showmanship, warmth, and we'll take care of you attitude, is just another overpriced convention town. That's why you're seeing people second-guess their trips, and even weekends don't feel as packed as they used to.
Reason 6. Buffets and cheap shows are extinct. For decades, the buffet was the beating heart of Vegas hospitality. Long lines of prime rib, crab legs stacked high, desserts spread across football fields of counters. It was excess you could actually afford. Tourists would book entire trips just for the food deals. But step into Vegas in 2025 and you'll find a very different picture. Buffets are nearly extinct. What's left is a handful of mega buffets charging $60, $80, even $100 per person, with reduced hours and slimmed-down menus. Dinner service? Gone in many places. That all-you-can-eat magic is now an upscale brunch designed for Instagram, not value. And if buffets are dying, their so-called replacements are even worse. Casinos tout their shiny new food halls as progress. In reality, these are standardized, overpriced stalls charging $20 to $50 for a single meal. Gone are the quirky mom-and-pop counters or the random, inexpensive food courts. Variety has been replaced with uniform mediocrity. It's the same story on the entertainment side. Vegas once offered dozens of quirky afternoon and late-night shows for a few bucks. A comedy magician, an Elvis tribute act, a mentalist in a back room. You could walk up and grab a $15 to $30 ticket on a whim. In 2025, small, affordable shows are nearly extinct. Mid-tier productions have been swallowed by $150 to $300 Cirque-style extravaganzas or megastar residencies. A family of 4 can drop $600 just for seats, before drinks and merch. Even comedy clubs have doubled or tripled their ticket prices. This kills what made Vegas special. For decades, Vegas's secret sauce wasn't just glitz, it was choice. You could tailor your trip to your budget, you could be spontaneous. You could see something weird and wonderful at 2 a.m. without breaking the bank. Now, the city funnels everyone into the same high-priced options. Want nightlife? You're funneled to a $500 bottle service mega club. Want entertainment? Hope you like $250 Cirque tickets. Want food? Here's your $90 buffet or $30 food hall sandwich. It's not just about nostalgia, it's about accessibility. Vegas built its empire on volume, millions of regular folks spending a little each. That mass market magic dies when regular folks can't afford to play. And tourists are noticing. Threads on travel forums are full of comments like, "Vegas is just for the rich now," and "I miss the old days when a buffet didn't cost as much as my plane ticket." This hollowing out also has a hidden ripple effect. Fewer affordable shows means fewer working performers, stagehands, servers, and ticket staff. Another piece of the Vegas middle-class ecosystem is gone. When buffets and bargain shows disappear, Vegas loses not just its bargains, but its soul. The Strip feels more like an airport mall than a playground of endless possibility. And that's another reason tables sit empty and hotels struggle to fill rooms.
Reason 5. Social media backlash. Once upon a time, Vegas could quietly raise prices and hope visitors wouldn't notice until they were already in town. But in 2025, bad news travels faster than the monorail. Every hidden fee, every watered-down cocktail, every $30 bagel gets photographed, tweeted, and posted to TikTok before a tourist even leaves the casino floor. Travelers today don't just gripe to their friends, they broadcast to hundreds of thousands of strangers. One viral Reddit post can do more damage to a hotel's reputation than $1 million ad campaign can fix, and that's exactly what's happening. Examples are everywhere. A TikTok video showing a $9 bottle of Pepsi at a Strip gift shop racks up 3 million views. An Instagram reel of a $25 parking fee at a once-free hotel gets reshared on travel pages worldwide. A tweet showing a $60 resort fee receipt goes viral with the caption, "Vegas is a scam now." The comment sections read like a mass boycott. "No way am I going back. I'll just go to Reno. Vegas is dead." It's not just visitors who are angry. Former employees and locals chime in, telling stories of layoffs, corner cutting, and poor treatment of staff. The narrative snowballs. By the time a tourist considers booking a trip, they've already seen dozens of these horror stories on their feed. This reputational spiral has real economic consequences. Occupancy rates dip even as prices rise. Weekends that used to be packed feel half empty. Even conventions, once bulletproof, are quietly moving to cheaper cities. And here's the kicker. Casinos keep responding by raising prices further to squeeze fewer guests, which creates even more viral outrage. It's a classic doom loop. Gouge, guests leave, prices rise to compensate, outrage goes viral, more guests leave. Social media also erodes Vegas's mystique. Decades ago, your friends might have bragged about their wild weekend. Now they warn you with screenshots. Don't go. Total ripoff. That kills the aspirational side of the brand. Even high rollers see it. A travel vlogger recently said, "Vegas used to make me feel like a king. Now I feel like an ATM with a pulse." Comments flooded in, agreeing. When the narrative shifts from "Vegas is fun" to "Vegas is a scam," the damage is deep. It's not just a few bad reviews, it's the entire online perception of the city. And in 2025, perception is reality.
Reason 4. Employee exodus and local squeeze. Vegas has always been a city built on workers. Dealers, cocktail servers, stagehands, housekeepers, cooks. Tens of thousands of people who kept the strip running and gave visitors the service of a lifetime. They weren't rich, but they were the heart of the city. In 2025, that backbone is crumbling. A quiet but massive employee exodus is underway, and you can feel it every time you step off the casino floor. Why? Two main reasons: corporate cuts and cost of living. First, corporate cuts. In the past 5 years, major casino operators have merged, restructured, and optimized their labor force. Bell desks eliminated, dealers replaced with digital kiosks, cocktail service cut in half, entire concierge teams replaced by apps. One fictional employee confession puts it bluntly. "I gave 20 years to the same casino. They cut my hours, replaced my table with a hybrid screen, and told me to reapply for a part-time job across town. I just packed up and left Nevada." Second, cost of living. The Strip's success pushed rents sky high. A one-bedroom apartment in Vegas now averages $1,500 plus a month. Pair that with fewer hours, no benefits, and shrinking tips, and even full-time workers can't afford to stay. The result? Thousands of former service workers are moving to Arizona, Texas, or smaller Nevada towns. Others are living in extended-stay motels or, heartbreakingly, on the street. Encampments under overpasses and tents in vacant lots, scenes that were once rare in Vegas, are now impossible to ignore. This exodus erodes the soul of the city. Visitors notice fewer friendly faces, slower service, and a vibe that feels off. You can't run a hospitality city without hospitality workers. And yet, the corporations are acting as if they can automate their way to profit. The irony is brutal. As Vegas squeezes its workers, the very workers who created the city's magic vanish, making the visitor experience worse, which drives away more tourists, which leads to more cuts. Another vicious loop. Locals talk about a two-tiered Vegas now, a glittering strip built for whales and influencers, and an underpaid, shrinking workforce living in shadows or commuting from hours away. That's not a sustainable model. And here's the kicker. This isn't just bad optics, it's bad economics. Every worker who leaves takes spending power with them. Fewer locals eating out, fewer families supporting small businesses, fewer tax dollars for schools and infrastructure. It's a slow bleed that eventually hollows out the entire region. When visitors say Vegas feels empty, they're not just talking about the casino floors, they're sensing the disappearance of the people who made the city feel alive.
Reason 3. Nightlife monopoly. There was a time when Vegas nightlife felt like an all-you-can-eat buffet of possibility. You could start at a quirky tiki bar, slide into a jazz lounge, hit a dive casino lounge with $2 beers, and end the night dancing to a DJ for $20 a ticket. That patchwork of oddball venues was part of the fun. Fast forward to 2025, and Vegas nightlife looks like a giant monoculture. The small and mid-sized clubs that once filled the gaps have disappeared or been priced out. In their place, a handful of mega clubs and VIP-only venues controlled by a few powerful operators. The result? Prices are off the charts. $500 to $1,000 bottle service is the norm, even on weeknights. Cover charges start at $60 to $100 just to get inside. VIP tables, which used to be splurges for bachelor parties, now dominate the floor plan, pushing casual visitors to the sidelines. A local bartender drives it home. We used to have locals nights, industry nights, and $5 drink specials to fill the place. Now management only wants high rollers and Instagram influencers. Regulars are gone. I'm making half the tips I used to. Even long-running lounges and quirky bars are shutting down. The off-strip gems where you could hear live music or grab a cheap craft cocktail have vanished under rising rents and corporate consolidation. Those who survive often impose strict dress codes and high minimum spends to mimic the mega club model. This homogenization kills spontaneity. The city once invited you to wander and discover something unexpected. Now, you're herded into the same few venues charging the same sky-high prices. And it's not working. Social media is full of posts from disappointed visitors. We tried to go out Friday night. Everything was $500 minimum or VIP only. Vegas nightlife is dead for normal people. The irony is by catering almost exclusively to the ultra-rich, the clubs lose volume and vibe. A half-empty VIP club with overpriced champagne doesn't feel glamorous, it feels awkward. That's why you're seeing shots of sparsely filled dance floors and canceled events. Vegas nightlife was once a kaleidoscope of choice. In 2025, it's a funnel for whales. And when regular visitors can't afford the play, they stop coming, taking their social media influence, tips, and free marketing with them.
Reason 2. Safety and crime concerns. Vegas sells you a fantasy, dazzling neon, endless parties, and a playground without consequences. But take a few steps off the strip in 2025, and that fantasy evaporates. Visitors are seeing a darker side of Sin City, one that makes them rethink coming back. Homelessness, crime, and aggressive hustles have become impossible to ignore. Underpasses and vacant lots a block from the strip host clusters of tents. Families walk past makeshift encampments on their way to $400 hotel rooms. The contrast is jarring. Street scams and petty crime are also on the rise. Visitors report being hassled by fake monks demanding donations, or VIP club promoters who vanish with cash deposits, or street performers who get aggressive when tipped less than expected. Pickpocketing and theft are up around pedestrian bridges and rideshare pickup points, exactly where tourists congregate. One Vegas tourist confession paints the picture. I paid $20 for a watered-down cocktail inside my hotel. When I stepped outside, a man followed me for 2 blocks begging for money, then cursed me out when I said no. It killed the vibe instantly. We stayed in our room after that. The FBI still ranks Las Vegas in the top tier of U.S. metros for violent crime per capita. And although most incidents don't involve tourists directly, perception is reality. Families and retirees don't want to roll the dice on safety during a vacation. Casinos themselves aren't immune. Security guards are stretched thinner, and some properties have cut back on visible staff to save money. Visitors notice, and it makes them feel less protected. This erosion of safety bleeds into the city's brand. Vegas once promised carefree escapism. Now it feels like an obstacle course of price traps and petty hustles. The mental shift from Vegas is fun to Vegas is sketchy is devastating for tourism. It's also feeding the empty strip effect. People who might have stayed out late bar hopping now retreat to their rooms after dinner. Conventions book fewer after-hours events. Repeat visitors skip the trip entirely. Vegas has always had a rough edge,
but it balanced that with overwhelming service, spectacle, and value. In 2025, the rough edge is what's most visible. And it's costing the city the one thing it can't buy: trust.
Reason 1. Robots replace people. Vegas was built on human energy. The banter of the blackjack dealer, the cheers at a hot craps table, the wink from a cocktail server sliding over a free drink. That human spark is what made the city magical. It wasn't just gambling, it was connection. In 2025, that spark is flickering out. All over the Strip, live staff are being replaced by kiosks, hybrid tables, and automation. Casinos call it innovation. Guests call it soulless. Instead of a warm smile at check-in, you're greeted by a glowing touchscreen. Instead of a dealer explaining the rules of blackjack, you get a cold terminal with flashing prompts. Bartenders? Gone in many pits, replaced by machines that dispense pre-mixed drinks at the push of a button. One Vegas dealer's confession captures it. I dealt blackjack for 15 years, knew my regulars by name. One day, they wheeled in these hybrid tables. Suddenly, I'm monitoring 50 players at screens instead of dealing to 7 at my felt. The energy died overnight. So did my tips. 2 months later, they cut my position. To management, this is a dream. Fewer salaries, fewer benefits, no sick days, and more hands played per hour. But to visitors, it feels sterile and predatory. The game moves faster, the odds are tweaked, and you're staring at a kiosk instead of a person. Casual players, the backbone of Vegas revenue, feel intimidated or bored. They can't ask questions, can't joke with the dealer, can't slow the pace to savor the moment. Losses pile up twice as fast. Instead of a social night at a table, it's an ATM transaction with neon lights. And the ripple effect is huge. Thousands of dealers, bartenders, and service staff lose stable careers. Neighborhoods built around casino jobs hollow out. The human culture that kept Vegas's hospitality alive evaporates. Vegas without people is like a stage without actors. You can keep the props, the lights, and the soundtrack, but the magic is gone. Ask yourself this: would you fly across the country, pay $300 a night, plus $60 in resort fees to sit at a glorified slot machine pretending to be blackjack? That's the future Vegas is selling, and it's not a future most people want to buy. The Strip looks emptier not just because prices are high, but because the spirit is gone. The city traded connection for extraction. Until it reverses course, lowering prices, bringing back service, and putting people first, Las Vegas risks becoming an overpriced arcade running on autopilot.